Welcome back to WION World is One. You're watching Speed News with me, Vidur Kathuria. Let's get started. Reporting his team's progress in Berlin, the US President Donald Trump has stated that an agreement aimed to end Russia's war in Ukraine is closer than ever. Trump's remarks come at a White House event after he called into a dinner in Berlin at which US envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner were holding talks with Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky and European leaders. Trump reiterated that this peace deal between Russia and Ukraine comes after he solved 8 wars. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that territorial issues remain one of the most painful obstacles in efforts to end Russia's war on Ukraine. Speaking alongside German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, Zelensky said he believes that the United States can help broker a workable compromise. However, he stressed that Ukraine must first receive clear security guarantees from its allies before any decisions are made on frontline positions, including how a potential ceasefire would be monitored. European leaders say they are considering a European-led multinational force backed by US support to help enforce any future peace agreement in Ukraine. In a joint statement issued in Berlin, leaders said the force would form part of strong security guarantees aimed at ensuring Russia does not violate a deal to end the war. The proposal was discussed as European leaders met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to underline continued support for Ukraine's security. Ukraine's security service says it has carried out a special operation targeting Russia's navy in the Black Sea. The SBU released video it claims shows an underwater drone striking a Russian Kilo-class submarine. Ukrainian officials say the attack left the submarine critically damaged and no longer operational. US President Donald Trump has announced that he will sign an executive order formally classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. Speaking at the White House, Trump called the move historic. He has previously cited fentanyl trafficking as a reason for imposing tariffs on Mexico as well as Canada and China. US President Donald Trump has filed a defamation lawsuit against the BBC in Miami federal court, seeking up to $10 billion in damages. The complaint claims the British broadcaster produced a false and malicious portrayal of Trump in a panorama documentary aired just a week before the 2024 election. Trump alleges the program was part of a brazen attempt to interfere with the election and harm his campaign. Donald Trump has faced backlash after making controversial remarks about the late Hollywood director Rob Reiner, whose death, along with his wife, shocked Los Angeles. Trump claimed on social media that the deaths were linked to anger caused by Reiner's criticism. Reiner, a vocal critic of Trump, and his wife were found dead in their home, and their 32-year-old son has been arrested on suspicion of murder. Police say the couple died from stab wounds and the case is now under investigation. Donald Trump has said that he wants his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping to consider releasing Jimmy Lai. This as he voiced his sadness over the Hong Kong media mogul's conviction. Trump met with Xi in October in South Korea, where he is believed to have raised Lai's case. Lai was found guilty on all 3 charges in his national security trial on Monday. The 78-year-old, who pleaded not guilty, faces up to life in prison when he is sentenced. He can appeal against the convictions. Four people have been charged in Southern California over what authorities say was a disrupted bomb plot targeting multiple locations, including US immigration agents and their vehicles. Federal prosecutors allege the suspects planned coordinated attacks on large logistics facilities similar to Amazon distribution centers on New Year's Eve. The defendants face charges of conspiracy and possession of an unregistered destructive device. Officials say the group was linked to an anti-government organization known as the Turtle Island Liberation Front. No defense attorneys were immediately identified. The US and Paraguay have signed a new security agreement aimed at strengthening military cooperation, intelligence sharing, and joint responses to humanitarian emergencies. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Paraguay is one of Washington's strongest regional allies and a key partner in confronting shared threats. Speaking at the signing in Washington, Rubio highlighted the danger posed by transnational criminal and terrorist networks operating across the hemisphere. Paraguayan Foreign Minister joined Rubio for the signing of the Status of Forces Agreement. Gaza civil defense officials say they have recovered the remains of 45 people killed in an Israeli airstrike on a building in Gaza City 2 years ago. The strike happened on December 15, 2023, about 2 months after the Hamas-led October 7th attack that triggered the war. Rescuers used heavy machinery to clear rubble, while some workers in protective suits searched for human remains. Families watched as bodies were placed in bags for transfer to Shifa Hospital, with identification often possible only through clothing. European Union and Lebanese officials held high-level talks in Brussels, reaffirming their partnership as Lebanon faces mounting political, economic and security pressures. The EU-Lebanon Association Council meeting reviewed ties under the existing agreement, with EU officials stressing continued support for Lebanon's state institutions. European Commissioner underlined the importance of Lebanon's stability to the wider Eastern Mediterranean while urging long-delayed reforms. Talks also covered regional tensions and the protection of civilians. Yemen's main separatist group, the Southern Transitional Council, has announced a military operation in southern Abyan province. Footage shows vehicles moving through mountainous terrain with fighters in military gear armed and ready. The STC has recently asserted broad control over much of southern Yemen. Hundreds gathered at Bondi Pavilion to lay flowers and honor the victims of shooting at a Jewish Hanukkah festival. The attack, Australia's deadliest in nearly 30 years, left 16 people dead, including one of the gunmen, and injured several others. Police say the 50-year-old shooter was killed during the incident and his 24-year-old son remains in critical condition. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has criticized Chile's president-elect Jose Antonio Cast, calling him a Nazi during a government broadcast. Maduro also warned of possible actions against Venezuelan migrants living in Chile amid growing tensions over the incoming administration's policies. A Cessna Citation 3 private jet has crashed in central Mexico's Toluca, killing at least 7 people. The aircraft, traveling from Acapulco to Toluca, carried 8 passengers and 2 crew members. Officials confirmed the post-crash fire has been contained, with debris removal and cooling operations ongoing, and urged the public to stay away from the site. The cause of the accident is under investigation. Tensions boiled over in Mexico City's Congress as female lawmakers from opposing parties engaged in a physical fight on live cameras. The clash began when women from the right-wing National Action Party protested a rule allegedly broken by the leftist Morena party, which controls the legislature. The dispute centered on reforms to the city's Transparency Oversight Agency. Footage shows at least 5 lawmakers slapping, elbowing and pulling each other's hair as Morena members tried to remove the PAN deputies from the podium. A Massachusetts man has been convicted of first-degree murder in the death of his wife, whose body has never been found nearly 3 years after her disappearance. Brian Walsh was found guilty following evidence that included online searches about dismemberment and body disposal. Prosecutors also presented surveillance video of a man resembling Walsh discarding heavy trash bags along with personal items linked to his wife. She had a multi-million-dollar life insurance policy naming him as beneficiary. After a 3.5-month trial, former anesthetist Frederic Peschier could face life in prison. He is accused of poisoning 30 patients between 2008 and 2017, resulting in 12 deaths. During closing arguments, his lawyers argued the case was built on coincidences turned into evidence, comparing it to Patrick Dills, who was wrongly convicted in 1986 of murdering 2 children. Representatives of the victims' families dismissed the comparison, saying the 2 cases are completely unrelated. Thousands gathered in Bratislava to protest the government's plans to abolish the Whistleblower Protection Office and amend the criminal code. Moves critics say weaken the rule of law. Demonstrators shouted "Enough of the mafia" and held signs asking, "Are we supposed to have children in a mafia country?" The protest reflects growing public concern over governance in this EU member state. Owners of Birch by Romeo Lane in Arpora, Goa, where a fire killed 25 people last weekend, are expected back in Delhi today after being detained in Thailand. Goa police say the brothers will first arrive in Delhi and following transit remand procedures, they will be brought to Goa for further investigation. France is on track for one of its hottest years on record. This is according to a provisional assessment from National Weather Agency Meteo France. Officials say 2025 is expected to rank alongside 2022, 2023 and 2024, with average temperatures running about 1 degree Celsius above normal. The weather agency says climate change is driving the continued rise in temperatures, reinforcing a pattern of increasingly warm years across the country. In the Moroccan coastal city of Safi, residents were seen clearing mud from streets after deadly floods. Authorities say overnight heavy rain and flash floods killed at least 37 people, flooded around 70 homes and businesses, and swept away 10 vehicles. The Interior Ministry added that 14 people have been hospitalized. Parts of British Columbia are facing heightened flood risks as heavy rainfall and snowmelt have caused rivers to rise rapidly. Canada's Environment Department has issued orange-level rainfall warnings for areas including Abbotsford, Chilliwack and the Skagit Valley. Officials warn that higher elevations could see up to 80 millimeters of rain, raising concerns about potential flooding. Nvidia has announced the acquisition of AI software company Shed as it steps up investments in open source technology and the broader artificial intelligence ecosystem. The company is the developer of Slurm, an open source software used to schedule large-scale computing jobs across data centers, a critical tool for training and running generative AI models. Nvidia said it will continue to distribute Slurm as open-source software while integrating it with its latest hardware and AI systems. The US government has launched a campaign to hire 1,000 engineers for 2-year federal positions, including those who have artificial intelligence expertise. Scott Cooper, the director of the US Office of Personnel Management, said that the engineers will tackle specific projects inside government agencies, including building a digital platform for the Trump administration's savings account for children. Cooper further stated that the government wants to get the benefit of really smart people working on some of the world's most complex and difficult problems. Music streaming platform Spotify was back up for most users after it suffered a global outage that affected tens of thousands of people. The outage tracking website downdetector.com showed on Monday. The outage in the US eased to about 1,000 incidents of people reporting issues with the platform as of 10:30 a.m. ET, compared with a peak of nearly 36,000 user reports. Users on social media platforms Reddit and X had flagged several issues with Spotify, including logging problems, difficulty accessing the homepage, and playback issues with song queues. Asian markets fell across the board on Tuesday, tracking losses on Wall Street as investors continued to pull back from US artificial intelligence stocks. Shares of major AI players like Oracle, Broadcom, and Microsoft declined, weighing on global sentiment. South Korean led regional losses for a second straight session, with the Kospi down nearly 1.8% and the Kosdaq sliding over 2%. Japan's Nikkei and Topix also fell, pressured by weaker economic data. Hong Kong and mainland China closed lower, while Australia reversed early gains to finish modestly down. Oil prices moved lower in early trade, extending losses as optimism grew around possible Russia-Ukraine peace talks that could ease sanctions on Moscow. Crude slipped to just above $60 a barrel, adding pressure, and weak economic data from China showed slowing factory output and retail sales, which is raising concerns over global oil demand. The softer outlook offset supply worries, including a recent US seizure of a Venezuelan oil tanker. The US dollar slipped to near a 2-month low in early Asian trading as investors waited for a batch of economic data, including the delayed US jobs reports for October and November. The dollar index eased about 0.2%, while markets priced in strong odds the Federal Reserve will hold rates later this month. Attention is also on global central banks, with the Bank of Japan expected to raise rates and the Bank of England seen cutting. Elsewhere, the euro and pound were steady and Asian currencies edged higher. Arguably the greatest footballer of all time, Lionel Messi wrapped up his India tour in New Delhi. Just like at his previous stops, Messi was accompanied by his Inter Miami teammates Luis Suarez and Rodrigo de Paul as the trio enthralled the packed Arun Jaitley Stadium. The Argentine World Cup winning captain took a lap of honor and thanked supporters for their love and energy before being presented with a T20 World Cup match ticket and a Team India jersey by International Cricket Council President Jay Shah. The countdown for the 2026 IPL mini auction is here. All 10 franchises will gather later today for the bidding war as they look to fill a total of 77 available slots. A total of 359 players will go under the hammer in Abu Dhabi. At the top of the list of players who could fetch big money is Australian all-rounder Cameron Green, who has set his base price at 2 crore Indian rupees or about $220,000 US. Kolkata Knight Riders are expected to go all out for the Australian all-rounder. Acclaimed Iranian filmmaker Jafar Panahi and other prominent civil society activists have issued a joint call demanding the immediate and unconditional release of Nobel Peace Prize laureate Narges Mohammadi. Mohammadi was detained last Friday following her attendance at a memorial ceremony in Mashhad. The foundation released a statement saying the activist was violently arrested. Panahi and his fellow signatories condemned the event as a stark reflection of the worrying state of freedom and security in Iran.